Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And group play for the CDL 2021 season is officially over, but there's no shortage of storylines going into this major. The seeding is set, as we're going to dive into in the coming minutes here. And tweet your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoy the video, subscribe if you're new as always, I greatly appreciate it. If you're upset the channel, thank you very much indeed for doing that. First of all, did want to mention this, because these first, well, especially the first game of the day, there wasn't too much on the line for either of these squads. I was hoping to see some gentlemen's agreements get broken, especially given what some of the Los Angeles Gunless guys were saying on the social medias. I thought something might actually happen here. As easymax says, just want to see some snipers in the search and destroy. Don't think that is too much to ask for. The big one that these guys have been gassing up here for these last few days. These were the three games of the day, starting with Gorillas versus Surges we'll dive into, FaZe versus New York, and then Empire versus Ultra. The big match I really found how the seeding is going to figure out in Group B to finish off the day, as we're going to most certainly dive into the most important match in CDL history, somewhere, maybe in some strange parallel universe. It's big one Sunday, get wings here, Peter, it is time. And well, it's Los Angeles Gorillas versus the Seattle Surge. The team that effectively Seattle Surge farmed all their wins off last season. You guys might remember towards the start of it, when but arguably this season has even been more tragic for them given the talent in theory that they had put together at the start of the season. The first game went the way of Seattle, wasn't even close to be honest. There was a technical delay and I was like, look, I'm not even worried about the technical delay my bedtime, because I was pretty confident a clean 3-0 may indeed come through, especially with this statistic from Los Angeles Gorillas. This is ridiculous. Like, they might be the worst team we've actually seen so far in the CDL history, to be honest. This squad of 4, it's actually quite impressive. 1 in 18 in the last 19 hardpoint games. Their 6th straight defeat. I'm pretty sure they won one against like Minnesota Rokkr right at the start of this stage or something, which okay, fair play on that front, but still, that is a remarkably poor hardpoint statistic, and you're not going to win any series at that rate, to be honest. It's pretty tragic stuff, but this is what they say going into kind of a search and destroy last night, completely random and for no particular reason. Who's the best sniper on the team? Talking about, okay, snipers might be coming out. We go to a game 2 and well, once again, it's incredibly boring. Seattle get the job done, no snipers come along, don't even want to bring up any gameplay, because no one was putting any gameplay on the timeline, let's just say this, because nobody cares. That's just, well, that's just how it is. And well, they end up winning the series 3-0, just another pretty comfortable one, to be honest. Los Angeles Gorillas just absolutely terrible, and to be fair, like, I was happy for Seattle, right? Classic had a great series, at least how he's been performing as of late. There were some memes coming out on the timeline most certainly about the fact that, yeah, I mean, if Classic can go positive against you, it's probably not looking too good for your squad, and well, and honestly, it's just so chalked. It's like, what the hell is even going on anymore? There's some memes at CDL, some great memes that come out on this account. The worst team in the league award, Seattle Surge hand over to Los Angeles Gorillas, and congratulations to them for, well, taking the award, and as Octane says, pretty happy about it as well. These are the statistics. I mean, it's just not pretty at all. Classic goes +8 for the most damage in the lobby, so fair play. Octane back on an AR actually goes positive again, and Gunless with a 1.61, certainly the player that I would be building around on that squad if I had to choose one player to go around for next season if I was the Seattle Surge. As Octane says, 4v4 toilet bowl, hashtag champs with the squad, getting the victory over Los Angeles Gorillas. The two worst teams in the league, many may indeed say, and well, Los Angeles Gorillas aren't really even that bad. They literally start overreacting. Classic went positive against them. Well, I suppose there it is. But as Joey Nubsy says, I mean, Octane is going to say here in this interview, right, just like how bad Los Angeles Gorillas are, saying they were effectively just trolling in the series, just having a good time, just playing for fun, didn't even really care at the end of the day. We know that, like, the Seattle Surge, their team is probably chalked at the end of the season. They don't really care anymore, but still, they just come into the series and get the job done in a 3-0 pretty emphatic fashion. That was a good time, as Joey says right here, and well, I'll share the interview for you guys on screen real quick that Octane had to say what he said to Lottie about, oh, well, just playing to have a good time, they're just trolling in this series and still getting the job done.
Playing on LAN, I'm always excited for it. Hopefully we can come out and perform better than we did. All I know is that we won the toilet bowl, and that's the championship that the Seattle Surge needed right there.
It was indeed. Now, I got to ask you about the matchup. LAG, obviously. Were you practicing anything in that series at all heading into the major?
No, we were kind of trolling, if I'm being honest with you. I don't really think there was any in-depth practicing whatsoever. Yeah, I mean, it was just having a good time, to be honest with you. There was nothing really too deep to get into for that. We were just laughing and having a good time. Well, we're not going to champs, so you know, let's show up to Major 5 and make some money, have a good laugh, and see what we can do. We can still play upset. I know there's a whole bunch of like second seed in like the race for the second seed and other stuff going on for champs. So you know, play spoiler, win some cash, have a good laugh, and end the season with a bang. That's all we're here for, Lottie.
This I did want to mention as well here from aBeZy. Maybe it's too much reading into this, to be honest, but GG Seattle lost 3-0. The gorilla emoji, of course, knowing the peace out emoji. I don't know if aBeZy's kind of hinting about the fact that, you know, maybe he's on his way out of the scene in terms of retirement, right? It wouldn't be a massive surprise, right, to see aBeZy decide to step away at the end of the season. It'd be kind of a sad way for a phenomenal career to end, but it may indeed be happening. Honestly, I kind of thought it might even happen earlier this, to be honest, then given what happened with Karma last season, right? I feel like something similar might be brewing here. Certainly something to keep your eyes on going forwards with the off-season on the cards. And while this I thought was pretty funny from GG Breaker Point, Seattle Surge having a pretty good time, but 1, 2, and it's, you know, FaZe Ultra and Seattle Surge still in 12th right now, but still a good victory nonetheless. No longer the worst team in the league, at least in terms of recent performances, so I suppose you've got to give that to them. But one team that has certainly been on a massive downward trajectory is the New York Subliners. Since Clayster stepped out of their team, not they got rid of him necessarily, but since he, a lot of people have a lot of things to say on whether Clayster sketched on his team, or not sketched on his team, but left his team out to dry in a way, or whether it was a good decision on his part, or whether the team actually wanted to get rid of him, and then that was just what they were saying on the timeline to kind of cover it up in a way. I don't know, there's been a lot of talk about it, but obviously, at least from my perspective, there was no way that this New York squad were ever going to have the same ceiling as they did with Clayster. When Clayster's on form and they're playing well, he's the type of guy that does take you to that next level, and in terms of strategy and cohesion, it's just going to be so hard for them to do too much, especially against a team like FaZe. And FaZe are just way too good. This is the problem with FaZe, is that whenever they lose a series, as they did to OpTic just a few days ago, the next series they play, they're just dominant. They just, it just fires them up when they lost that 13 win streak, right? Going into, this last series of wins they lost to OpTic, and you just felt like they were going to come out here against New York and absolutely body them. This game one was not even close. New York just about get 100 points. They were lucky to get 100, to be honest. The search and destroy was just ridiculous. aBeZy and Simp, this game one, were just absolutely on fire. When we look at the stats here at the end of this series, it's literally, not literally, but basically a league play game, or even a public match, to be honest. Sometimes the kids you play in league play are pretty damn good. And in this case, it didn't seem to be the case. Dominance on Express Search and Destroy. FaZe got up 2-0. Again, Subliners lucky to even get a round here. 6-1, it just completely smoked them off the face of the earth. And this is a map where this New York team, without Diamond Connor with Clayster, won against, in a game 5 against FaZe earlier on this season in a pretty important series. Pretty sure it was maybe that stage 3 major actually, when they ended up making the grand finals again and winning the entire thing, as they tend to do. But still, this is the thing with FaZe, man. They just look so scary. New York were completely discoordinated, or uncoordinated would probably be the proper way to say it. And yeah, they look nowhere near the team that they were. And now going into the major, they, I was hoping they would kind of be a championship contender here going into World Championships with Clayster. Now that does not look like it's the case at all. And it's just, complete showers on to see what's happened to this squad. But FaZe bouncing back in pretty emphatic fashion. And while they finish off the series, just, in obviously expected fashion really in the control. They just don't lose controls. They win this one as well. Look at this scoreboard right here. I honestly couldn't believe what I was seeing. This is the trademark Atlanta FaZe scoreboard right now. Arcitys just goes even, 39 and 38. Not really doing too much. To be fair, he actually has more damage than aBeZy, which is kind of crazy. Look at the kill difference right here. But Arcitys goes 39 and 38 for a 1 KD, pretty much dead on. aBeZy has a 2 KD because why not? Plus 26, 52 and 26. Cellium has a 1.63, and Simp has a 1.69 at 61 and 36. Also, interestingly to me, so much damage, more kills and more deaths than aBeZy. Is he the new entry sub of their team? In this series, it certainly seemed like it. This guy was absolutely on fire, and this then determines the final standings for Group A at the very least. OpTic, FaZe, Thieves, Ravens, Subliners, and Paris Legion in last. We'll look at exactly how the bracket will break down in tomorrow's video. And the third series of the day, wow, what a series that was. The fight for the first seed in Group B between the Dallas Empire and Toronto Ultra. Honestly, a blockbuster series. I was hoping that this wouldn't just be another quick 3-0. It certainly was not. Really was a very interesting one. The first game was, honestly, again, Dallas Empire do this quite a lot. We'll see it certainly in map 4 here, where they have some significant advantage in the map. Then things get somewhat sketchy. And to be fair, Toronto Ultra are very good at this map. We see them do a lot of good things on raids. But here is Dallas Empire getting the job done. And honestly, the catalyst for Dallas as of late has been ILLey. When he's turning up in a series, there's such a scary force to be reckoned with, because Crim has been an absolute monster as of late. Credit where it's due over there. Shotzzy and Vivid are doing their thing in the SMGs. And if you get performance out of ILLey as well, then this team is a real championship contender. As clearly they are, right, when they, of course, made the grand finals of the previous major at Stage 4. This game one went so down to the wire, Dallas just about got over the line in the end. Nice, couple of kills come in the kill feed in the white side of things, and they get the job done. But game 2 was also pretty ridiculous. Early on, there was this incredible 1v2 clutch from CleanX. Game 1, it was Bance doing it all, to be honest, in terms of the SMG side. But it's CleanX who is just such an incredibly enjoyable player to watch when he's on form. This 1v2 was pretty impressive. But later on in the game, it was Crimsix Crimsix. Like, Crim has been so good on Express Search and Destroy this entire season, and he shows it once again right here, especially in this round we'll look at right here in just a second. But well, he was absolutely fine. This one, line him up at Crimsix, made such a good play top catwalk to hold off their push, and gets these 2 kills from the back, and well, gets in the camera's face, to be honest. This guy is so entertaining, man. Honestly, Crimsix never ceases to amaze. As soon as I did this, I knew that he'd be doing something on the camera as a result of this, because it was just such a nice play there. No idea where he was. Takes down the final kill at range as well, and the Crimsix is absolutely loving it. Like, you can see it right here. And yeah, of course, if you do this, you also want to go on to win the series, most certainly, as indeed they do. But it gets a little bit suspect, most certainly, when we go into this raid control. They end up losing it. I mean, what a map this was on raid. Like, Drazah are so good at controls in general, especially on raid, and this one was so down to the wire there. Like, that round 5 offense they won was very clutch, to be honest, getting that B point early on. There was so many streaks on either side. Like, Crim had streaks, there were streaks on a couple of the Toronto guys as well. Everything was flying in left, right, and center, and I'm pretty sure Vivid had some as well. And it was absolute chaos on the map. Just in the end, Toronto get enough kills to get on the point with like a second F. Crimsix was on like a 6 streak, flanking their spawn. If he gets 1 kill, I'm pretty sure it was CleanX in the point, then maybe the round is completely different. But Dallas falls short. But to be fair to them, they then go into a game 4, which is, well, as Simp says, you know, the control was something crazy. Felt like those are the most streaks I've seen in the map this entire year. But game 4, Garrison Hardpoint, was where Dallas have been pretty damn solid this season. But to be fair, so have Toronto. And this was one of the sketchiest Hardpoint victories you are going to see out of a team like the Dallas Empire. They were up massively for a time. They were up like almost 200 to like 70. But then things started to get a little bit interesting, as they tend to do. And to be fair to Toronto, they put up a massive fight right here. Some teams would have just rolled over backwards and died, but they really put up a fight. But it was the game clock that kind of spelled the end in the end, to be honest. Because right here, Dallas break in and win the game. But there were so many rotations, right? It was over at the P4 where they got a massive lead. Then P5, they couldn't quite close it out. Then I was just thinking, look, Dallas, don't get yourself put in the absolute demon trap, which is where you spawn in the back of P5 with like 20 seconds to go, and then they can get that time, get all the P1, and then flip P2 as they successfully do. And it felt like it wasn't necessarily Toronto's game to lose, but right here, they had a great opportunity, right, to get over towards that P3. But to be fair, Dallas had taken so long off the game clock that there was like 10 seconds left. They only needed to contest for like 10 more seconds, and that would be the game theirs. But I really thought that they were going to find a way to throw this one away with Dallas, and it was going to go to a game 5. Doesn't happen though. Dallas just about closed out, and they secure that #1 seed over the Ultra. So Ultra 4-0, Dallas were 3-1 coming into this series. This victory gives them the tiebreaker over them, and that does now mean that it's the Minnesota Rokkr in the 3rd seed, which goes Dallas, it goes Toronto, then it goes to the Minnesota Rokkr, and of course we'll look at what that means for the bracket tomorrow. But very impressive stuff from the Dallas Empire, meaning that the 2 teams that are #1 seeds this season, or this stage at the very least, are, well, Dallas Empire from Group B side and OpTic Chicago from Group A side. Not exactly what I may have predicted coming into this stage. Impressive stuff, no doubt. Very much intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. Really helps out the YouTube algorithm to know you enjoy this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and help grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you much as always, take care, and I will see you next time.